everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Shaun. Please press the like button, subscribe, share, comment, engage in meaningful communications. Anyhow, I appreciate all of you. So, man, there's so much to digress or digest, right, regarding the Charlie Kirk incident that happened yesterday. Man, there's so much. Anyhow, we were live yesterday. We were live. Mike from the Professional Security Journal was moderating my channel when this incident was unfolding, and he was in Utah. Mike happened to be in Utah. Noticed that there's various law enforcement agencies rolling Code 3. Now, the incident happened somewhere between Salt Lake City and I think Provo, but more closer to Provo, and somewhere I think east of some lake that was near this oh my goodness, sorry guys, I went blank. I just got off of work. Anyhow, what we were discussing is totally relevant to what happened. What we were discussing during live when Charlie Kirk lost his life was signing up for security teams for up-and-coming musicians, movie stars, persons of significance, people that are running for political office, not the ones that are already on top, but the ones that are trying to make it, the ones that don't have a security team, or the ones that have a substandard security team. Guys, go back and watch the video. The timing was right on dot. Okay, now let me just talk about my thoughts on Charlie Kirk. I don't follow him. I don't follow him on the social media platforms. I don't follow him because I already agree with some of his content, right? Or maybe most of it. I don't know. I don't follow him. But every time he was on YouTube or on a YouTube short video or on social media, and there's like some clips, I would listen to him, and I would feel proud of the millennial generation for taking a step toward mankind, for educating the young population about the truth out there. And I really admired him, and I was always concerned. I would always ask, does he have a proper security team? Does he have people on his security team that are proficient, that are experienced? It was always a concern. I just never talked about it, right? And then this incident happened, and guys, I felt like there was a knife that just stabbed me through the heart. What we basically did is we stabbed democracy in the heart. How are you supposed to express your political views and ideas if you have somebody there who is trying to end your life? And the thing was, Charlie Kirk, he wasn't somebody that advocated violence. Man, it just crushed into me, man. I was going through a lot of comments. My YouTube short video, geez, it made it over 30,000 views, which is something that's rare for this small security channel. About 10% of the comments were very disturbing, and they included threats on our current president, right now. There shouldn't be comments like, hey, you know what, he deserved it, or thumbs up. That's just wrong, guys. I don't hope that on any Democrat whose life almost ended. That's not me. It doesn't matter who you are. Everybody's entitled to life, right? And yes, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but why is there so much hateful comments? Have we really gone that far in society where we're really loving it when somebody gets assassinated or loses their life? Guys, this isn't the former Iraq. It's not Afghanistan under the Taliban government. This is America. I don't care. I don't care what political party you are. Once again, everybody is entitled to life. Okay, give me a second. I have removed the comments that incite violence, that incite hate. I don't want to be part of any social media platform that encourages violence against people who are exercising their First Amendment right to free speech. Charlie Kirk's security team is a team that I would have suggested that you volunteer. Please go back to that live stream, guys. I didn't mention in particular, but he's somebody who's up and coming. He demonstrated a lot of influence. He told millennials, or he demonstrated to millennials, that it's okay to go up there in public and express your values to others. Not impose your value to others, but express your values to others. He told other people who are young people that it's okay to do that. And he did that at liberal colleges. Who does that? Like, for me, I got this platform, but I don't have the bravery, I guess, so to speak, to go to a liberal-based college and have these debates with people who really hate me. I don't have what it takes to do that, but Charlie Kirk did, so I commend him. My heart goes out to his family. Prayers go out to his 2 children. I mean, come on, guys, a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. What you guys basically did is you took the life of a father, of a son. That's what you did. You did not change the way that we feel about Republicans or Democrats, political views. You didn't change that. All you did is you ended someone's life. And when I say you guys, I mean the 10% of those of you who are commenting in a violent manner on my channel, on my platform. Now, I'm also going to call out those of you who think that it's a Democrat or liberal that was the shooter. I'm calling you guys out completely. Because the question is, how do you know? How do you know it's a Democrat? This is why there's so much divide in this country. Because all of a sudden, we're expressing our stereotypes. We're actually not just expressing what our stereotypes are, we're acting on it. We're acting on our biases, on our stereotypes. You do not know. You do not absolutely know that it's a Democrat. Guys, in the investigations world, in the private security world, in law enforcement, even military, okay, if you're going to stereotype a suspect into a certain category, you're going to miss the suspect. You have to keep an open mind and open ears. There is, again, a lot of people in our small, tight-knit community that absolutely believes it was a Democrat. You guys, you don't know. Like, so for example, it could be a right-wing terrorist. Okay, maybe that person believes that Charlie Kirk is taking a peaceful route that is way too peaceful, and he needs to be more aggressive. In that case, it makes sense that a totally right radical would have done this. You don't know. Okay, guys, who took out the Honorable Dr. Martin Luther King? Who took him out? What? It was somebody that believed that our black population should be equal in society. However, that shooter believed that Martin Luther King was not taking the appropriate route. He wasn't being too aggressive. He should have been calling on violence against others, but he didn't. And that's the truth, guys. You don't know. So what I'm asking you guys to do is stop calling out the Democratic Party. It's a Democrat for sure, unless you know. Unless you know. It's not your transgender terrorists or whatever you guys call them. It's not that person. I think a more appropriate answer is I don't know. Now, I was talking to Mike from the Professional Security Journal. Mike is monitoring. He's monitoring the channel. He's our administrator, okay? And I made some factual-based assumptions. The shot placement was it was on the neck, right? Like right on the neck, maybe the throat area, the neck, okay? I didn't do any research. I told Mike, and he will vouch for me. We'll even screenshot the comments. My guess, okay, my estimation was the shooter was about 200 yards away. all this talk about this was a professional shooter, this was a sniper, right? A trained sniper. I'm going to throw that assumption out the door, and I'm going to explain why, right? And we're keeping everything factual based, not based on races, not based on your affiliation with political parties. This is factual based. Okay, most likely than not, an inexperienced sniper is going to use the center aiming point as the point of aim, believing it's the point of impact. So my guess is he didn't move up the hash mark. So what I mean by hash mark is you have a horizontal elevation mark. It's like the first big mark on a scope, on many scopes, right? At 200 yards, you're supposed to elevate it to that notch. Now, obviously, it depends on the barrel length, depends on the cartridge you're using. It depends on what distance you sighted in that precision rifle at. There's so many variables, but I think 100 yard zero is very common in the hunting community and even in the sniper community. So Charlie was hit in the neck. That's not a precision shot, in my honest opinion. It's not a precision shot. Precision shot, in my honest opinion, by a sniper is right in the tee box, right in here. Okay, this person didn't have that skill. Now, further, I learned that the shooter was on a roof of maybe like a 3-story building. Okay, there is a formula that's used by snipers. And this sniper, the so-called sniper, was not familiar with the formula. When you're dealing with angles, okay, when you're shooting from an elevated position, your shots are most likely going to land high. They're going to impact high. Okay? A lot of ridges out there, they're usually at a 30-degree angle. I have no idea what the angle is of the building, but a trained sniper, okay, would go to this facility, this university, and estimate the width of the building, maybe even the height of it. But I think very importantly, they would determine what the angle is from their anticipated point of impact to the line of sight. Okay, guys, there's some math that's involved. Your sniper wouldn't know how to do that. So what your sniper would have done was probably lowered the point of aim. Instead of putting it up, would have lowered it. And that's where I got it wrong. That's where I got it wrong, because I didn't know he was on a roof. Okay? But there's some skill involved. So all this talk about it's a sniper, that's a shitty ass precision shot. He most likely aimed at the chest. And like I said, when you're shooting from an elevated position, your shots are most likely going to end up high. And I think that's what happened. Right in the neck. That's not a precision shot. It's a shitty ass shot. So stop calling this guy a sniper. Sniper is given, it's a title given to our honorable men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces. Okay, that's the title that's given to them. Police snipers do sniping, rifle precision at a different capacity, but there are distinctions. Stop calling this guy a sniper. I know I called him a sniper in the comments. I'm sorry, in the thumbnail, for lack of a better term, because nobody knows what a sniper is. Nobody knows what precision shooting is. I mean, some people absolutely do. Let's talk about the security team. Guys, you cannot expect Secret Service level security for Charlie Kirk. He's not a government agent. So his security team is most likely voluntary, or it's most likely probably low budget, where they don't have all the resources, where they didn't do an advance or a proper advance. Basically, what the advance does, and with my experience with Secret Service, the advance team will come out like a month before, talk to the locals, talk to local law enforcement agencies, start establishing points of vulnerability, choke points. There's a lot of significant work that's involved, not just showing up, right? I don't know if he had an advance team. He probably did, but were they qualified? I don't know. And I'm not putting down the team. I mean, you get for what you pay for. Are they going to learn a valuable lesson? Absolutely. Is it their fault? Absolutely not. We're taking away blame from the shooter and putting it on the security team. That's not the case. I believe, based on the footage, that the security team, they acted in a reasonable manner. Okay, and man, I almost had a tear in my eye when I saw the actual shot, and I saw his carotid artery just burst. Like, I knew, based on some of my training that I have in TECC, that's kind of an unsurvivable wound, right? And we did get intel in the security community. So I was reading some of the comments. Somebody mentioned that one of their relatives has a close friend that's at the hospital, and he was already pronounced deceased. This happened. This comment was made about an hour and a half before Donald Trump made the announcement. Guys, we have a tight-knit security community. We have eyes and ears all over the ground. This is the second largest security channel, all on YouTube. All on YouTube. And we have connections all over. We have intel, eyes and ears. Thank you, everybody, for that. Okay? So I don't think you're getting the best team. And right now, I tell you, I just don't know. I think that maybe the team leader has a lot of experience, maybe military, maybe law enforcement, or just general EP. And he's a team leader for a reason, but I think the other guys may not have the training. Now, are they trained in TECC or TCCC? Well, if they're former military, maybe. Former law enforcement, maybe, or current law enforcement, maybe. I have no idea. But that's a wound where, like, you cannot turn a kid a neck or a throat. The only thing that I can think of that you could do, based on my training with Randy Nunez, that runs citywide protection services out of Santee, the training that he gave us was you could apply a pressure bandage in that position. But as for maybe cutting off the artery or pinching it, that's beyond my training, and that is way beyond first aid, basic first aid. Right? I think honestly, Charlie was gone, man. He was gone when he received that fatal blow to his carotid. Okay. I really like the egress plan, and it happened. And guys, what's very interesting is law enforcement, I don't think that they took incident command. I don't think that they activated ICS. So you have a university that probably has a full-time campus university police. I don't think they took command. His security team, I believe, transported him to the hospital. They put him in the SUV and they took off. Does his security team have access to Code 3 lights and siren? Code 3 capabilities, right? EVOC training, Emergency Vehicle Operations Center training. I don't know. But you don't have Code 3 capabilities. Can you get to the hospital in time? I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But honestly, I was thinking about law enforcement throwing Charlie in the unit and rolling Mach 3, Code 3, hauling ass, while his EP guys was in the back administering CPR or any life-saving measure. That's what I would expect. But that didn't happen. So what's next? Obviously, crime scene control, right? You have an entirely large crime scene. Man, there's so much to digest in this situation. Guys, there's going to be a call for security teams. There's going to be more of a market. You're going to have low budget celebrities, low budget people of popularity that are going to reach out to security companies. And I just don't know if security companies like Securitas, Allied Universal, I don't know if they have what it takes to be an effective EP manager, EP team. Because it's not just about EP work. It's not just about close quarter working near the protectee. EP work involves coordinating with local law enforcement, training with them. Look, if I was part of the EP team for Charlie, okay, as a team leader, I want to invite local law enforcement to dignitary protection services training. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. And when we train, even when we're at the range, okay, we break bread. Guys, the best place to break bread with other men and women is at the range. Get? It's not, that's another place to break bread, but it's at the range, and it's full of trainings that is out there. Come in a couple months, we are offering a dignitary security course that is California Post certified. It's a 36-hour class. Right now, it's only open to law enforcement. But if you have a tactical team in private sector, reach out to me. Okay, I'll leave all my contact information in the description box below. I have some very knowledgeable men that have done some interesting things, operations here and overseas, and they will get your team trained. Just reach out. If you're law enforcement, again, we have a training course coming up, and it's post-certified. Now, let's talk about training opportunities, okay? Let's talk about deployment of resources, okay? Do you need a counter sniper team as an EP agent? I think that'd be very helpful when you're protecting somebody like Charlie, right? You should have a counter sniper team, but California ties our hands. Okay, these ridiculous individuals at all political levels, in all levels of state government, they don't want private security in California to have access to rifles. And with rifles comes precision shooting. If you have a guard who's trained in sniper craft, you could position him on an elevated position and conduct counter sniper business. You could do that absolutely do that with training. Okay, with training, but you need a license to do that. The license in California for BSIS certified professionals, it only allows us to have a handgun. We cannot, now it's a gray area to have, no, actually you cannot have like 300 black, 308, 556, you cannot have those as calibers anymore. Democrats push legislation that disallows security to do that. Okay, that's the case in California. Okay, I don't know what the case is in other states. Comment below. What does the state allow you guys to carry in security, right? I think that there needs to be exceptions. Now, on another note, should security be able to carry rifles? And I believe that only a fraction of a percentage of security, because of all the recklessness I see out there with this use, and even law enforcement, I'm convinced that maybe only 10% should be able to carry rifles, right? Even pistols. I'm appalled by the way that a lot of these police officers are carrying business with pistols. But there should be I think that there should obviously be a need, and there should be training that is involved. And if you don't meet the standards of training in pistol craft or sniper craft, then get out of our training facility and don't come back. Those should be the standard. Well, don't come back unless you retrained yourself, you unscrewed yourself, and you could pass the minimum standards, which is going to be the highest standards possible. Okay? There's a lot of comments. I get a lot of DMs. By the way, guys, I'm on Instagram under The Firearms Trainer. The Firearms Trainer. I got an Instagram account. Let's talk on there. Let's discuss opinions, ideas. But anyhow, there's a lot of ideas that revolve around you should have a counter sniper team. You should have better security. And I agree. Guys, first off, the university is not going to pay for additional security. They're probably not going to pay for dignitary protection training. They're absolutely not going to do that. I don't see that that's in their budget. Okay? So, as for the university paying for security, or paying for tactical teams, paying overtime, that's not going to happen. It's going to have to come out of Charlie Kirk's, his organization, which is Turning Point USA's budget. But we need to have the best of the best and stop paying these EP agents mediocre pay. You pay for what you get in executive protection. Let me just go through the comments real quick. Mike, man, thank you so much for being a good friend, for moderating this channel. I know that you moderated probably a significant amount of comments that incite violence on this channel, and I really appreciate you for that. Guys, he only got like 92, 94 subscribers. He's trying to get over 100. Subscribe to the Professional Security Journal channel. Subscribe to my channel. Meet me on Instagram as well. But I will go through the comments right now before we end this discussion. Mike from the Professional Security Journal says this is Orem, Utah Valley University. And he saw this, that there's a dozen unmarked units breaking cover. I don't know what's trolling here. Yeah, and you know what, Mike? We will leave the comments. Let's leave the comments that say stop spreading information, bro. That's fine. The comments we're not going to allow on this channel is comments that incite violence. And again, Mike is doing a perfect job moderating that. Matthew says he overcompensated the angle. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's why he's not a professional sniper, in my opinion. Security Body Cam channel says it kills me that the so-called black content creators are taking Malcolm X chicken coming home to roost out of context. He clearly referred to JFK and other white liberals. Jeez. FCJ9, sir, thank you so much for being here. He says our community is great. TB's here, American Dream Chaser, welcome. Mike's from the Professional Security Journal says nothing is ever 100% secure. And he also says you're taught that in EP Academy. No, nothing is unsecured. There's vulnerabilities. Guys, and then the question is, okay, you're on the EP team. You're right next to Charlie. You see somebody positioned on the roof. What is your next? Like, what do you do next? And then let's just say you see him taking shots. Okay, you got a pistol. You have a pistol. Are you gonna make a 200-yard pistol shot? Are you gonna make an impact? This guy's prone position. Think about it. I think we gotta level it up, and that's when you bring a scope carbine to the fight, or precision rifle, either or. You also bring training to the fight. But 200 yards, forget it. Guys, I've done some shooting at 200 yards with my C2 Staccato 9mm. I think it's like 1 out of 15 or 1 out of 20 chance that I ring steel at 200 yards, and I'm talking about a humongous target. Okay, I got to the point where I was able to do it 1 out of 10 times, but after the 5th or the 6th shot, the barrel heats up too much, and it doesn't. The barrel just doesn't stabilize the round as I want it to, and it's a crap shoot at those distances. Okay, what his team did was very brave. They shielded Kirk. Okay, they shielded him with his own body, with their own bodies. How many of you are willing to take a bullet for your protectee, for your client? These guys did. These are amazing men, and it'd be so great if one of them reaches out to us. Anyhow, all the contact information I will leave in the description box below. Please, guys, let's talk about this, man. Especially if you're on the team. I'm so proud of you guys. I am so proud of you that stayed there and that shielded your body against this sniper. Well, no, sorry, I shouldn't call him sniper. This maniac. Okay, I didn't even see a ballistic shield. Nothing at all. Would a soft ballistic shield have ended the threat? No. I'm sorry. Would they have protected the protection detail and Charlie from further incoming rounds? Probably not. A rifle-rated shield would have done the job, but I didn't see that. And those can be very, very heavy. You're talking about, for the newest in technology, maybe a 14 or 16 pound shield, easy $10,000 to $12,000. And yes, Mike, thank you. This is private security. This isn't USSS. Guys, you're not going to get secret you're not gonna get presidential, U.S. Secret Service level protection for Charlie Kirk. It's not gonna happen. Okay, it's not gonna happen at all. If you are a former president, as we've seen with Trump, with President Donald Trump, you will get probably a lower tier of protection, but you're not going to get current Secret Service level of protection for that. And guys, right now I'm in contact with some teams that have communicated with Secret Service regarding some things I can't even talk about on the channel, and we're preparing for something. I'm not going to give dates. I'm not going to give any date lines, but our contacts out there are right now in communication with some high-level government people out there, right? Mike says, I'm sorry, the break says, it's common sense to have detail on the tallest roof, especially someone of Charlie's stature, should have been prevented. I think that it makes sense. It makes absolute sense to do it. But did someone call in sick that day? Did they have an alternate? Did they have funding? The breaks, I completely agree with you, right? But the question is, do they have the funding for that 6th or that 7th or the 10th guy? I don't know. The break says you don't have to have the resources to have armed security to climb a ladder to a roof and keep an eye out. No, but you need to have a trained person. If I put like an unarmed person on a roof, I need to train them on what to do, right? Now, okay, let's just say I give them a radio. I get even an armed person a radio. Who is the direct comms to? Is it to the local police department? Is it to the university police? Or is it to your fellow EP agents on the security detail? GTA says, so make a budget for them. We pay for their surgery overseas. Guys, again, we don't need to refer to people in a derogatory sense. This is why there's so much divide in this country. And then the question of equality is, if we provide a security detail for Charlie, okay, it's tax paid dollars. Does that apply to everyone else? JP says, do we know what the caliber the shooter used? Was it 308 or 306? I had no idea. Some people will guess by the sound of the gunfire, the sound of the bullet whacking. Something it could have been suppressed. You don't know. You don't know if it's 308. You don't know if it's 5.56. You don't know if it's 6.8 Creedmoor. You don't know if it's 300 Black. You don't know if it's 223 instead of 5.56. You don't know. You don't know. You could speculate, but it's probably a caliber that is common in precision rifle platforms. SCJ9 says, another question. What kind of communication does the EP team have on-site LEOs? Do they have radios? That is a good question. And I just mentioned that. You probably commented before me. Rob Banks says 777, rest in peace, Charlie. And then Mike says 200 yards is something we trained for. Outreach says Maniac, he had a sniper. You don't know. You don't know if he's sniper trained. Raimi says 200 yards is something you can master in a few hours. Okay, thank you. So I could bring an inexperienced shooter to the 200-yard line and make some pretty decent shots with a scoped rifle. Guys, it's an easy shot. A headshot at 200 yards after a 6-hour training session is going to do the trick. Your hunter, that is a proficient hunter that does this on a seasonal basis or on a regular basis, they can make a 200-yard headshot. That's not a problem, especially on an elevated platform, and especially on using the prone position. Okay, it's an easy shot. What makes it a little bit more difficult are elevated positions. But all that means is like, because I told you guys, with most or many elevated shooting positions, your shot is probably impacting high. You can get your average hunter, aim at the chest, aim at center, right in the center, and land a headshot, or a neck shot, or upper thoracic cavity shot. It's not difficult to do. So thank you, Ramey. Greg says 200 yards with the hunting rifle is absolutely possible by civilian. I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. By the way, guys, this guy is on the loose. I believe the shooter is on the loose. John Marias, I'm sorry, sir. John Marias says Myron is right, and the fact that the people are celebrating this man's death is sick. He was a father and husband and someone's son. Regardless, if he didn't believe in what he did, he didn't deserve that. Absolutely not. Okay, I'm just reading through the comments. Guys, please get trained out there. Our team has active shooter training coming up. It's California Post certified. Check out the description box. Give me like an hour. I'll post that information. We have post certified sniper instructor school. It's a 40-hour class. That's in October 20th to the 24th. And this whole issue out here, this challenges, is something that we'll probably discuss. We have CQB, close quarter combat training coming up. That's post certified. Check out the description box below. What we're doing is we're coming up with solutions. Black Armor, reach out to me, I think on Instagram. By the way, I have an Instagram account under The Firearms Trainer. Reach out to me then or there. And he said that there's a lot of access issues to law enforcement or military type of active shooter or sniper level training. At CWPS, Citywide Protection Services, they're bridging that gap between private sector and law enforcement and military and those who need that level of training. Okay, so first thing I'll do, I'll leave access to my website and then other details in the description box below. Guys, please comment in the description box below. I want to know your thoughts, good, bad, the ugly. You agree with what we said? What are some things that we left out? Okay, man, you take care. And women out there, thank you so much for your support.